Hey everybody. Did you ever never complete or finish a game for whatever reason, like, frustration or just lose interest or whatever? Well, that's kind of what I want to talk about today, or this week, is games that I never finished for whatever reason, which I'll talk about more with each one as to why. Um, but yeah, let's just get right into it. First one, Super Star Wars for the Super Nintendo. I played the crap out of these games when I was a kid. The Super Star Wars games, that is, or the SNES Star Wars games. And a funny thing, every time I play this game or talk about it, I always think about a time when I was a kid playing it, and my stepfather was watching me, and I was, I think it was the first level, actually. I was Luke, and I was, like, kneeling and shooting the ground or whatever. It's like, and then my stepfather was like, shoot those ants, or something like that. But anyway, yeah. When I was a kid, back in the 90s, I could never get past, I believe it was the 5th stage, where you fight the giant womp rat thing, which, it's also the level where you get the lightsaber, and for whatever reason, as a kid, I didn't really like using the lightsaber, which, obviously, you need it to beat the womp rat. You don't need to, but it makes it easier, sort of. So as an adult, I have been able to beat that part, and I made it to a few more levels, but I can't get past the I think the level when you're like escaping, where like Han, Luke, and Chewie and all of them are escaping the it's like after the cantina when they're escaping Tatooine or whatever, and yet the boss is like this giant. It's like this stormtrooper hovercraft type thing. I can't beat the damn thing. So yeah, so I've never finished this game because of that boss. The next one is Lover. This is a game I've talked about a lot of times on my channel. Very underrated platform. I still think it should come to Nintendo Switch Online expansions pack. But yeah, it's a great game. Very underrated, and you have like different worlds, which I'm not going to talk about. I'll go into the story and gameplay and all that because, like I said, I've done that in other videos. But it's like the first world is like, because like when you beat a world or so, you unlock like other ones. So you start with one that's like basically Atlantis. When you beat that one, you unlock 2 more, which is it's a pirates one and a carnival one. You beat those 2, and you unlock one of them is prehistoric, and the other one's like a haunted castle type of thing, like Castlevania, I guess you could say, kind of. And that boss, I always had trouble with that boss, but I think I did eventually beat him. And then the last world, well, the 6th one, I don't know, is like a space one. Honestly, I don't think either I couldn't beat the space one, or I couldn't beat the castle boss, which is like this Frankenstein monster, because you have to like solve this puzzle in order to beat him. Like, honestly, I don't think I've ever beaten that part, which is unfortunate because it's a good game. Hard, but a good game. The next one is Manhunt. Now, this is such a great game, and the funny thing was, funny story, the time when I really got into this game was, well, a little over 10 years ago. I actually, a little bit of a gross out thing, I had to have surgery where I had a cyst around the base of my tailbone, not on my tailbone, but like in the same area as it, so I had to have that surgically removed, and because of that, I couldn't sit for, I think it was like about a month. So, being the gamer that I am, I had to pretty much stand up to play video games. Like, I mean, I didn't mind, like, standing to eat and stuff, but standing to play video games was very awkward, and ironically, that was the time when I really got into this game, which, like, so it's like, did you ever try playing a stealth, sneaky game standing up? Pretty interesting. But yeah, I made it about, I think, like halfway through the game, because there's like the 5 different groups or cults, whatever you want to call them. There's the 3rd one, which is like, I think it's like 4 ex-military guys or something. I made it like, I think I did like 3 of their levels, and then I don't know, after that I just stopped playing it for whatever reason. I don't know if I lost interest or whatever the reason was, because this was a great game. yeah, maybe it was because I had to stand up while playing it, and I was just like, oh, screw this. I think that's what it was. I think it finally got to the point where, because I was standing to play it, I was finally just like, screw this. Yeah, I'll wait till I'm healed and I can sit again, then I'll get back into it. And that day came, the surgery thing healed, and I just never got back into it. I will someday, though. Next, another PlayStation 2 game, Shadow of Colossus. Now, this game was, to this day, I don't understand the story of this game. But who cares, because the gameplay is amazing, and pretty unique, too. Not to mention the soundtrack is fucking amazing. And some of my favorite Colossi, whatever. Some of my favorites would have to be the bird one, and the one with like the beard that you have to climb up his beard and then like up the side of his head to the top of his head. But because like each Colossus is like you have to like kind of solve a puzzle, so to speak, to try and figure out how to fight them and stuff. There were ones that I could not figure out, like that I was like, I tried like everything I could think of. I was like, oh, screw this, I'm just gonna look up like a video on YouTube, like whatever. I think it was the one I got to the one that's like the snake in the desert, and I couldn't figure it out. I looked up it on YouTube and stuff, but I was just like, whatever. And then I just, again, like just kind of lost interest, I guess you could say. But yeah, I will get back into this game eventually, because that's, like I said, such a great game. Next is Skylanders Giants. Now, I actually did a video on this a while back, the whole Toy to Life thing, how I feel like the market for it is kind of dead. But back in the early 2010s, it was pretty cool. Unfortunately, Activision being the way they are, they had to milk the game to death, make like a new game every year, rather than every couple of years would have been okay, and it's like kind of a two-sided type of thing. I mean, on one hand, yeah, they milked it to death, they put out a new game every year, but then it's like, if you think about it, because, like I said, the market for these type of games kind of fizzled out, in a way it's kind of smart, like, making a new game every year, almost like they knew, because, like, if they made a new game, like, every other year, by the time they got to, like, the third, people would have kind of stopped caring about this stuff. Maybe. Who knows, though? I mean, if it wasn't out every year, people probably wouldn't have gotten sick of it, kind of like I did. Because that's the thing, I loved the first game. I love the whole concept of just the putting the toy onto the portal and they summon into the game and stuff. It was so, and then you could play as them and customize them, sort of, a little bit. It was just a really cool idea. But then when I got this one and it was like playing through the story, it kind of got stale after. I made about halfway through the game, and then the whole Toy to Life thing kind of started to get stale and boring. So yeah, I never finished it, and I never bought any of the other ones after that. Like after this, it was I think it was it Swap Force, sort of. Actually, I have the poster up here. Yeah, Swap Force. Then I think there was Track Team or something, and then I think there was a racing one or something. Or I don't know. After that, like I said, I kind of just lost interest. The next one is Dragon Quest VII: Fragments of the Past, of the Forgotten Past, excuse me, which was actually a remake. The original, I think, was on PlayStation. This was a remake. This was funny. This was a game I bought on a whim from I think it was Walmart quite a few years ago. Because I always loved the Dragon Quest games. Honestly, I kind of like Dragon Quest more than Final Fantasy. But that's just me, and I tend to like the more obscure JRPGs like Suikoden, Legend of Dragoon, Skies of Arcadia, more than the Dragon Quest. Anyway, this was a great Dragon Quest game. You have a good variety of characters, and you have what the hell's the word I'm looking for? Job classes, or whatever, vocations, whatever you want to call them. Which you have to meet certain requirements to get them and such. And then the story of this was kind of cool, because it's you find this shrine with all these pedestals that have broken things, like, they're like, it almost looks like a puzzle with missing pieces. So you have to basically go back in time. Wait, it's been quite a few years since I played this game. You go back in time, and you find, like, no, it's like, it's been so many years since I played this, but I'm trying to remember. Basically, I think, it's like, you go to, like, you find, like, different areas in the world that have some kind of problem. Like, one of them might have been hit by a plague in the past, or they did something to anger people that turned the whole village to stone or something. So you find the missing fragments, and then you put them onto the pedestal, and then it opens a portal and you go back in time to solve whatever caused that. Like, like, whether it be, like, the two I just mentioned, like, kill that plague that happened, like make sure that plague didn't happen, or make sure they don't get the village turned to stone or whatever. And then it's like, so you come back in time and the village is restored. And it was a cool idea. Like, it was pretty unique, somewhat. I mean, I'm sure we've seen that kind of stuff in stories and games before, movies too, for that matter. But where are we going with this? But the problem was, it got to a point where I got kind of stuck. Like, I looked, like, everywhere, and it's like, okay, like, I need to find the fragments for the next pedestal, like, to open the portal to the next world, and I've, like, looked everywhere, I couldn't find them, so I kind of just stopped playing it, and sadly, I never finished it, which is unfortunate, because it's such an awesome game. And the last one, which I have talked about kind of this out before, but it's Recore. This was made by Concept, the same company who did Mighty No. 9. And we all know the controversy behind that game. If you don't, there's plenty of, like, YouTube videos and articles about it. Mighty No. 9, that is. Yeah, Concept, I think they only made about 3 or 4 games. And then they, I believe, were bought by another company or something. But anyway, this game, it's kind of like Tomb Raider, but with robots. You can actually kind of see someone on the back there. And on the front. And, you have a lot of open, not completely open world, but open world-ish, where you, something's loose in here. Okay, for some reason there was a Lego in that. Okay, I was wondering what that rattle was. But anyway, you fight robots, and you, like, basically harvest the cores, and use them to, like, power up your weapon, and, like, upgrade your weapon and stuff like that. Then you also find robots that are more rare, and then you get cores from them, which we'll call special cores. So naturally, these ones are kind of more hard to come by. Cat's looking at me. Anyway, so I got to, like, the end of the game where you go into this giant tower facility type thing. It's like, in order to get in there, it's like you need 10 special cores to open this door to gain access. And I was like, oh, okay, let's say I had 32. So it's like, so I open the door, and then I go in, and it's like, you go up these platforms, solving, like, or you go up a number of floors, jumping across platforms, avoiding obstacles, fighting enemies, come to another door. You need 25 special cores to open this door. So I was like, okay, like I said, I have 32, so that's not a problem. So go up to the next, so go through that door, into the next area, climbing stairs, dodging obstacles, fighting enemies, everything. Come to another door. You need 40 special cores to open this door. And I was like, oh, for Christ's sake. So, because I only had 32, I had to leave the facility, go back, find more of those certain robots, get the special cores from them. I think I got like a couple extra. Yeah, so I got the 40, and maybe like a couple extra just to be safe. So I go back into the facility. You have to redo all those rooms again. Like, what was it, like 2 or 3 rooms, like where you had to go through all the obstacles and enemies again. Come to the door where I needed the 40 special cores, so I'm able to go through there, and yep, more obstacles, enemies, platform stuff. Come to another door. You need 65 special cores to open this door, and I'm just like, at that point I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. I just stopped playing the game, and honestly, I haven't touched it since, and I think that was like 5 or 6 years ago. But yeah, so those are just some of the games that I never finished for whatever reason. You know, there's actually a lot more, but those are just some of the ones that I think had kind of some of the funniest stories. Is there any you can think of that you've never finished for whatever reason? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. Make sure to subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.